Hello, Nikki. How are you?
Hello, I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. And on that note, we welcome you guys to meet the authors monthly, as we always do, for another inspiring conversation. And um, and it's always special because we just don't just talk about writing, but also we give you insightful insights. Um, Today, we're diving right into the strategy of collective mastery. What happens when growth-minded individuals come together, not in competition, but in shared expansion. And today, that expansion is being writers and the stories we share. So, Nikki, what do you have for us today? Eager to hear.
Well, we're talking about anthology books, right? Compilation books. Do you have your books there?
Of course, I do.
Let's show them what they look like, the size of them, what the covers look like, in the back, how it credits people.
So that's the first one, Midlife Awakening, that I personally took part in. Then there was the bright yellow one, Never Give Up, and it does really stand out, especially when you're doing book signing like I have been doing lately. And the ripple effect of impact. And as you can see, they have a fair size to them, which is nice because sometimes they're placed on the bookshelf this way. So you want to see that title from a distance. And my latest one, which Nikki and I are both in. So
Yes,
yes, I can and I did. And of
yes,
course, my
finally.
yes. And I love that they're all colorful and easy to spot. And there's the one I did myself at the beginning, um self-publishing, but I definitely would prefer to do it with a publisher like I have been lately because it's a lot
Yes.
better.
Yes, I experienced self-publishing also. And although, everybody's different, and I'm sure there's a margin of people that would say I like self-publishing and it works for me. It didn't work for me, and I don't think Ava really cared for it either. There's a lot of different hats that you have to wear to make that a success. And if you're in a business of a different nature, chances are good that you're not going to be successful with all the hats you need to wear. And it's challenging and it's a lot more work than you think it is. So there is power of what we refer to as a compilation book. There's a strategy there. We're going to try and dive into some of the most efficient ways to collapse time in your professional journey. So, of course, part of that is a compilation book. That's very efficient for collapsing time. I mean, many people think that they have to go into a cave or an island or a retreat somewhere for an indefinite amount of time and be on their own to write a solo book, which is nice and helpful. I know a lot of people that did that. But here's the truth. A compilation book is a mastermind imprint. It's a fantastic, smart way to go. It's about being part of a high frequency collective. And you don't know what I'm talking about. You hear what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying, but you don't know what I'm talking about until you experience that high frequency collective and how easy life is on this little journey. When you are featured alongside, let's say, 19 other experts, you're just one author. You are an author being introduced to 19 other networks also. And there's a stamina, there's a strength, there's a conviction. And when you've heard that, when two people come together, there's a nucleus mind. Imagine the power and the comfort and the movement forward of 19 other people in a book, right? Ava?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's nice to have a business card and to share that with people. Um, while others are handing out business cards, they might often get thrown away or put aside or put into, a bit of information and not really have anything done with it. And you're handing over a physical anchor of your value. But this book says yes before you even open your mouth. It speaks for you. And in mindset, Ava and I will tell you your aura, your presence of mind, your core center, that is foundation, moves before you. And you get 19 other people with that solidity, and you're in an ease and a flow. You know, every book that Ava has done in the compilation, every book that I have done in compilation, with the right producer and the right team, we've gone best-selling, number one, and international on every one of the books. And that is because we were showed what to do, which we will show you what to do. We were part of a group, and we have substantial people in our network to move the mountain to international best-selling authors. So it's a smart investment. It's a wonderful sense of feeling of completion for yourself too, and it's great for your business. To avoid landmines and the mastering of the message. One of the biggest landmines I see is people trying to write their entire story, one chapter at a time. And it's uncomfortable to do that. And it gets tiresome and it's hard. And, like I'm just working on something right now, and I keep having to remind AI, no, the vocabulary is between these parameters, and I want to keep using this vocabulary here, here, and here. And, like I'm into the 20th chapter, and there's a serious level of fatigue. Well, with the compilation book, you write your chapter, one chapter, your expertise, and you're done. And you do
Yeah.
it with support, right? You get momentum.
I love when I was trying to write a book one time and I was so excited and then I started writing and I'm like, oh, that felt good. I look at like 3 pages. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna be a book. But in my mind, it sounded so good. And then I start writing. I'm like, yeah, I need more, definitely. But it's like, like anything, you learn it as you go. Like when I first did my the first collaboration book that Nikki got me into, she talked about it and I'm like, yes, I'll do it. I was like a deer in the headlights. But you know what? I love the experience and it opened so many doors and windows, or however you want to look at it. And as much as it can be sometimes a little bit maybe overwhelming because like I gotta write this. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, it was like the best thing I did. And if parts of it was like okay, the other parts were so good. Once you finish it, you feel so proud. Like you
Yes.
mentioned it, you feel good about it. And then I thought I was gonna be it for writing for me, but no. As you saw earlier, I have many more books to go and working on a few more. So you just never know. But I also did write one book that's about this thick and it's still sitting on my hard drive. It's about my travel journeys. And I didn't know quite what to do with it at that time. That's why I went into a hard drive. It's still sitting there. But now, after doing one book, second, taking part in these, like ideas come to you. You expand
Mhm.
and then you build with like sometimes you have to use AI because sometimes you're like, okay, now what? Like you get stuck a little bit. So you get some ideas here and there, or talk to other people who are in a similar situation, and then you just expand, get a team, and you come up even more amazing things. But I also agree with you, Nikki. I've also talked to people who they're so excited about starting and they get stuck. And they're
Oh, yeah.
like one girl in particular, she's writing. It's like I just don't know what to do now. So now she's asking help and getting the things, but sometimes you can't do it on your own. You do have to find your tribe, as they call it, and work with it together. So
Yes. In this day and age, really, there's not a lot of doing it alone. And even when you're taught to accept success, it's about helping others as well, or being part of a team as well. Like you don't create success if you're an island. Some people can, of course. There's always the majority, and there's always somebody that can argue that point. But most of us, our vehicle is with others.
definitely.
hmm Now, for me, I just like to pick books that represent my work and my life. So I pick something, I think about the book, or I'm invited in a book that has something that's pertinent to me. So I get clarity, and then I focus on one specific problem or one specific issue to solve, or one core principle of my purpose mastery. And I want the reader to be able to finish the entire chapter instead of the whole book and feel the profound sense of relief and get the realization that I'm the person that they want to be looking for and working with. Um, Even though I'm not trying to compete with the other 19 people, but I am challenged to bring my best forward and share something that's of value so I can take my place at that table. And also, when you're firm in your manner of being, your frequency goes out and it attracts those people. So you don't have to worry about the competition of who else is in the book with the same manner of business as you. Finally, Ava and I were in the book together, and we're both mindset. And I don't know, could be other people in mindset, but you don't care about that. You just stay unique to yourself, and
Definitely.
you get results, right?
Exactly. Definitely. And you can take that, even one story, you can ever so tweak it to because as maybe you've seen our previous videos, they all have a theme. Like one's like about never give up, as you saw, the other one's ripple effect. And I can pretty much like for the most part take one story and shape it to the title, but I still get my point across, the message I wanna, like I'll tell my heart story, whatever happened, and then I guide the reader too, as well, like Niki said, to a problem that could solve in their life, looking from perhaps my point of view, as there's many other people in the books, they say their point of view on whatever they came through, but it's all collective. We learn from
Yes.
one another. And then of course I also like to give some pointers, some tips and things like that. So I don't want you just to read oh wow, she went through that and that's it. I want the reader also to go through those, hey, I relate to her. Oh, this is how she came about this. Maybe I can use that to give you that value, give something
Yes.
to work with, because that's what it's all about, really, right?
Yes. Yes, and now let me tell you, my partner and I, who is Ava, we
Oh,
both have our projects. Well, yeah, I got to make sure that they know it's you, right? We both have projects on the move right now. We aren't looking for just anyone. We are looking for the right yes, of course. And I just said that I talk on topics of my business, and this is topics, my books are topics in the peripheral of the business, but I don't directly talk on this. But I lived it. So I'm sharing what I lived in these books more so this time than I'm sharing my business. How about you, Ava?
pretty much about the same, yes. And I'm shifting more into really getting deep down into the core of things, because the surface level, like you said earlier too, we all know it. We can hear, I can hear you. I know what you're saying, but the rest of the stuff is still, deep down in the core. So I want to be able to get into depth more as well.
Yes. So tell us about your projects.
Well, it's actually growth mindset. Go figure.
Oh, what a surprise.
Yeah, so I really would love to see more of the growth concept, like what happened like in your particular life where you went from lack, fear maybe, to opening up that growth mindset within you and sharing those stories. Because if I know I have stories, I know the next person too, and maybe my story is not gonna move you as much as the next one, and that's okay too. We're not here to compete, like you said. We are here to help one another. So, whatever we've learned, whatever we have overcome, it's meant to share for the benefit of humanity, so that's what I'm
Yes.
working on, collecting individuals with stories of perseverance, resilience, to get out there and share your voice, because it might be just that voice that they need to hear, that it'll help them with whatever they're dealing with.
And you have another one,
Nikki,
don't
what
you?
about you? That's my main focus, to be honest, right now,
Yes.
the growth mindset. So I'll stick to this one right now. I do have another one. It's more on traveling around the world, but it doesn't have to be like, oh, I've been to Iceland and this is what I did. Not so much. It's like it's more also in a sense of a mindset, because no matter where we go, people are there. Either
Mhm.
we learn from them or vice versa, or both, right? And it's the footprints we or leave behind where we go somewhere.
Oh, that's
What did
nice.
yeah, like what did you learn where you went? How did it shape your life going forward? Like I remember when I went to El Salvador, and actually share my story if you want to know, in this beautiful book. And it's also available on Amazon under my author page. And I know Nikki has her author page as well. I share my trip to El Salvador with World Vision Canada. And basically it was just working with communities, but also at that time, I knew this is something I wanted to do going forward, is help people. But at that time, I didn't know how. But it was already the birth of something. So you just don't know where you're gonna go and what will inspire you, move you in a completely maybe different direction than you originally planned. So that's the other one. Either or. I believe they have great potential to help people out there. So if you like more information, as we always say, book a free call. I can definitely tell you more about it. Now, Nikki, what are the books you are working on?
Now, I have a little bit of similarity and then a one with the big diversity. I realized that while I was starting my business, that a lot of people had different kinds of challenges, medical challenges, and were trying to overcome them, or else some people have overcome them and are doing extremely well. And then a couple of years ago, I got really sick. And my neurologist said, well, what do you think? Like, you're part of this, So I felt like I was the third peg in the medical program of healing. And so I took my place. And I feared that my life was getting so bad that honestly, like it was swirling the toilet bowl. I was in a lot of trouble. And that neurologist said that, and it felt like it gave me permission to take control to a deeper level. And I realized a lot of people do that. They take a diagnosis and they say, oh, no, I'm not going to be that. And they work at elevating themselves back to their higher level of health so that they could continue to function. So, my one book is called Holistic Intelligence because the way we can go is holistic in helping with our medical care and being that part of the cog in the wheel of getting ourselves back to perfect health. So I'm asking people for their stories in health. One gentleman hurt his back when he was in sports and had two really bad back surgeries. And I told him, be prepared, you might never walk again. And he said, oh, forget it, I'm walking out of here. And he was in neurological critical care. The family came in, they were all ready, for all the horrible news. And he walked out of critical care. And, it took him 2 years for getting his strength back and getting everything back to functioning 100%. But he found his way. He found his niche where he can relate. And his story will be in this. And there's another woman, one of the first ladies that got West Nile, and she became paraplegic. And she also said, no, I'm not doing this. And she was, the poor thing, she couldn't itch her nose, she couldn't do anything at first. And now she lives alone and she has some challenges, but she lives alone and she travels. She lives a quality life that she was aiming for. So I have stories like that. And while I was taking this journey of revelation here in the health, I also realized there's a lot of people that are high functioning that live in pain. And a lot of other people don't know how to do that yet. So I have another book to tell the stories of living in pain and living your best life. So I'm looking for two different kinds of stories there. Because a lot of us, even though we put on a wonderful face and we're steady and consistent, there's issues behind the scenes, and it would be very helpful if we shared that kind of information.
Definitely. Can't wait for those to come out, and of course mine as well. So yeah, it's it's amazing what we can share that can help someone else, right? So
Yes.
anything else you have for us, Nikki, today, or we're gonna
You
wrap it
know,
up and
let's wrap it up. And, we invite you to please call us. Either one of us. We both have a way of booking a half an hour free consult on our pages. I think Ava will post it down here as well. And take the liberty, even if you're just thinking about it or if you just found us interesting, that's a gut nudge for you to be moving in a direction that we're in. So make an appointment with us.
exactly. So we're here for you. So as we wrap up today then, the things you've walked through, learned, and overcame are meant to create impact beyond you. And when you step into spaces like this, when growth, collaboration, and intention lead the way, you're not just becoming an author, you're actually becoming a voice that inspires others. So if something in you has been stirred today, don't ignore it. Follow the nudge, reach out. We don't bite, ask questions, explore what's possible for you. I know if I didn't take that step, I wouldn't be sitting here bragging about it and feeling so great. And same with Nikki, doing book
Mhm.
signings, talking to others, you know, and really making a difference in the world. So don't wait. Life's too short. And I'm not just saying that, it's true. Life, you blink and it's like, wow, where did it go? So, do something meaningful. If you've been sitting on the fence, it's time because we can't wait to hear your story. So, till next time,
Yes.
uh, stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Nikki, for coming. Also, see you next time.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.